parent to have your heart break hearing these stories, right? We all have children in our lives who we love, and we're all paying the price for this crisis in mounting healthcare costs. So what we're talking about doing is huge. We're talking about changing social norms. But we've done it before, and we can do it again. And we can do it by standing up stronger, standing up taller, speaking up louder, joining with campaigns that are happening across the country, like those from Corporate Accountability International, with their campaign to suggest it might be time for Ronald to retire down to Florida. The Campaign for Commercial-Free Childhood, which has successfully stopped logos going on school buses everywhere they have tried to do that. Groups like the Center for Science and the Public Interest, and my group, the Food Mythbusters. Food companies say that it's up to parents to raise healthy kids. That's what they say. And I agree, absolutely. And that's why I say to those corporations, then leave parenting to us, right? Don't tell children what's good to put into their bodies. I have 2 daughters now, that's Ida and her baby sister, Rosa. And to the junk food industry, I say this: my children, all of our children, are none of your business.
Let's take some advice from Ann Lapp. See, she said it best. Our children are none of your business. And let's not forget about First Lady Michelle Obama. She's got a lot of good things to say too. Go check out her website, www.eatright.org, and look at the advice she has to give. She's saying all kinds of good things about how to get our kids moving again. You see, putting good information like that into the minds of our kids can and will make a change. Parents, you need to vote with your forks and take a stand against what these companies are selling, because we're just not buying it anymore. Back to you, Ellie.
Move over, Bobby Flay and Rich Ray. There's a new chef in town. For our next segment, we bring you art chef Angelica Yeepan, who's going to show us how to make tasty but delicious food. So stop ordering that fast food and start cooking at home. These fries, a little background. I grew them in my backyard, and I pulled them out and I sliced them and I fried them. They're not fast food. No, they're homemade, organic. But looks can be deceiving. What are you thinking?
Welcome to another episode of Healthy Eats. I'm your host, Angelica. Today we'll be discussing different ways to prepare healthy lunches for your children. You've probably heard the term that we eat with our eyes, which is very true. In a blind taste test, scientists had multiple students try different types of soda that had their labels and their coloring removed. Most of those students couldn't even tell you what they were drinking. And it's a really great way to get kids to eat healthier by appealing to their love of bright colors and exciting visuals. That's really what big name food companies do. Think about candies like M&Ms and Skittles, all those bright, fun colors. Children absolutely love it. So we're going to be adopting the same principles but apply it to healthy food instead. Today we're going to be preparing a modern Japanese lunch. Japan actually has some of the lowest obesity rates in the entire world. It's a combination of factors though. They have a much more active lifestyle. Their portions are a lot smaller. Japanese cuisine in general doesn't have as much processed food. There is really a shift away from processed fake foods, and they really moderate their intake of things that unhealthy fatty foods. For example, a typical school lunch in Japan, including chicken nuggets, would only have about 2 pieces of fried chicken, which children obviously love, but it's not as good for them, so they moderate it. So if you guys want to step with me over to the kitchen, I'll show you how to prepare a really yummy Japanese lunch. Okay, so first we're going to tackle our veggies, because you know that kids don't like their veggies, and I've zoomed in on my hands so you can see what I'm doing. I've made these really cute little heart-shaped cherry tomatoes. I think they're actually grape tomatoes, but kids absolutely love these. They're adorable. So first you take a grape tomato. You want something that's a little bit longer, And then you're going to cut it in half on a diagonal. So, like this. And then you take a small piece of uncooked pasta, break it in half so it's really little, and just insert it into the center so that it can hold both of the pieces together. You're going to flip one of the pieces over and then just hook them together. And then you have a cute little heart. Yum! Red is actually one of the most appetizing colors for humans. Another really appetizing color is yellow. I just like to cut up my veggies. Another cute thing that you can do though is to actually use a cookie cutter and punch out little shapes. So red and yellow, I just cut these up into little pieces. And there you go. You can also include some sort of dressing in there too if your children are picky and they don't like plain. But you know, the yellow peppers are a lot sweeter than your typical green bell peppers, so children usually really like this. And that's it for the little veggies. The next thing we're going to make is a traditional Japanese lunch staple called an onigiri. It translates to rice ball. So, this is basically the equivalent of a sandwich in Japan. They're eaten very commonly and they sell them at convenience stores. Now, Japanese rice is very sticky, so that's why I'm wetting my hands first. I got this rice from my local grocery store. Publix will have it, and you can probably find some too at your local Asian grocery store. And my hands are little, so my onigiri wind up very small. You put them in your palm, and then you're going to shape it by squeezing and turning. And then you can add a little bit more rice at a time too. And this is just a good carb for children to have. Gotta squeeze and turn. And go. See how a little bit of rice is sticking to me? That's okay. Now you don't want to squeeze too hard because then it'll be more like rice rocks instead of rice balls. Take a little bit of artistic liberty. There we go. Now, if you want to put stuff in your rice ball, which a lot of people do, you just make a nice little hole for yourself, and it's okay if it breaks apart a little. And then I made a little bit of tuna with some mayonnaise, and I just kind of pile it on top right there, some salt and peppers in there too. And I take a sheet of nori, which is Japanese dried seaweed. It's very common in a lot of their cuisines. They're commonly what you would find in sushi and stuff too. Kind of pack it down, I know. Not the easiest and mess-free of foods, but then you just kind of wrap the nori around it to seal everything in, kind of give it one good last pack, and then just plop it on down. And then you want to let them cool off too, and that'll kind of let them settle down into their shape a little better too. So there we go. That's two. I also have some rice seasoning. It includes like little flakes of sesame seeds and different bits of nori, which is again the dry seaweed, and spices. It adds a lot of flavor to your rice. So we're gonna do another one, just one more with the seasoning in it. And I had previously cut up my little nori strips too so that they would be more manageable. And again, you just keep turning them and turning and turning. And this is actually really great for kids to make with you because it gives them a hand-on experience. And you know, kids love eating whatever they make. It's also very simple. You can also add a little sprinkle of rice or of salt and pepper to the rice if you'd like. See, it's a nice little triangle shape. And then I take a little sheet of nori and I wrap it around almost like it's just the sushi without the fish. So that'll naturally stick to the rice. And plop it down. Let me get this rice off my hands. And then I like to sprinkle a little bit of this on each side, and it usually stays pretty well. Some flavoring. You can kind of roll it around in it too. And there we have it. 3 pretty little onigiris of yummy stuffing. Okay, and the last little thing that I've made is some hard-boiled eggs that I'm going to turn into little chicks. So this one, I just used some cheese, cut it off, and made little sesame seed eyeballs too. See? And this one I cut in half. So into the little lunch basket they go. They're so cute. And here's our finished product with a nice little bed of seaweed salad for Mr. Egg to sit on.
Thanks for tuning in into Saving Your Life. We hope you learned something today. We hope you learned how to eat better, live better, and why all of this is very important. Every day you have to make decisions. There are small decisions most of the time, but you want to be making the positive, healthy choice every time because it will go a long way. We hope that from this show you learned something and you can start applying it immediately. With that said, thanks for tuning in. Until next time.